Stop editing your videos. I mean it. Stop over editing your videos. If I had to point to one reason that I think most people start doing video for their businesses and then quit a few weeks or months later, it's all the editing. It takes too long. It feels like a bottleneck. And honestly, it matters a lot less than most people probably think. So let me show you what I actually do instead. My system has gone through a few versions to get here. I started out on Zoom, moved to StreamYard, and now everything runs through a program called Riverside, which is really the nucleus of my whole video marketing operation at this point. Now, here's the first reason editing isn't a big deal for me anymore. So I script my videos in advance and read them off a teleprompter. That one change alone eliminates most of the problem before it even starts. There aren't a lot of mistakes to clean up. There isn't a lot of fluff or rambling to cut out. We decided exactly what we wanted to say before I ever hit record. So there's just not much left to fix afterwards. So what does the actual video editing look like? For me, it's minimal. I trim off the beginning and the end. If there are pauses, ums, and filler words, you see Riverside, and I'm sure the other video editing platforms do as well, has AI built in that can strip those out automatically. Though honestly, I don't have much of that to begin with because of the teleprompter. And Riverside can help format that same video for both landscape for YouTube and portrait for TikTok and other short form platforms without me ever having to export it into a separate editing program like Final Cut. The one thing that we do add, even though it's not strictly necessary, is some B-roll. I use a yearly subscription to a service called Envato for stock footage and photos. There's other platforms and programs out there. It's not ideal to use stock footage, but it's better than nothing. Now, my virtual assistant and staff know exactly what kind of B-roll to drop in at this point. We usually open the video with some B-roll, something to catch their attention in the first 5 to 15 seconds before it transitions to more of me talking. And then as the video go on, there's less and less B-roll mixed in. That can all be done within Riverside. We also use transparent captions. That's an approach I talked about in an earlier video. They're small, not really visible to the viewer, but readily viewable to the search algorithms and the AI models scraping the content. Now, if this content is useful to you, please go ahead and subscribe and follow the channel because I've got a lot more of this kind of behind the scenes process coming in future videos. Now, here's one, I think, part of the secret sauce that really helps me out. All of this, the trimming, the captions, the B-roll, thumbnails, titles, descriptions, it can all be handled now by my virtual assistant in the Philippines because we have well-written SOPs and prompts. I don't touch the editing software myself anymore. Riverside is cloud-based, so there's no uploading and downloading footage back and forth. She has access to the same videos I do. She drops the finished video into shared drive, and then it goes out from there. She handles all of it. Now, here's something I really want you to think about in terms of editing. Some of my best performing videos by far have been live streams. By definition, a live stream can't be edited, and those videos have consistently outperformed a lot of my most heavily produced content. That tells me that the polish isn't what's actually driving the results. Where editing actually does and can matter is your thumbnail and title. You got to get someone to click first, and then once they've clicked, I don't think production quality matters as much to move the needle. The one place I will make an exception to that is that first 5 to 15 seconds where a little variety like opening B-roll or something like that instead of just me sitting here talking can help hold their attention long enough before the real video really gets going. So there's the one rule I'd actually give you on editing. Edit to make your video shorter and cleaner. That's it. Trimming and cutting the parts out you don't need to be there is almost always worthwhile. But editing to enhance, polish, and improve something that's already clean probably isn't worth your time. And it's only going to slow your process, and it could bring it to a grinding halt. If you've been putting off making videos because you're dreading the editing process, I'd encourage you to rethink that. Script it well, read it off a teleprompter, trim what needs trimming, and then let the rest go. That's really all it takes. Now, make sure you're subscribed and following this channel because I've got a lot more of exactly this kind of practical, no nonsense content coming every week.